Cato balanced his small clay pot on his head as he approached the river, his bare feet sinking slightly into the damp earth. The afternoon sun cast golden ripples over the water, but he was too focused on his task to notice the presence hidden among the reeds. Princess Amara, the king's only daughter, watched him in silence. Unlike the tall, boastful warriors who sought her hand, this man carried himself with quiet strength. There was no arrogance in his step, no hunger for power, only humility. And in that moment, her heart whispered a truth she never expected. She had found the man she wished to marry. A tale of humility, love, and destiny, The Shortest Man and the King's Daughter is a heartwarming story about seeing beyond appearances and finding strength in kindness. Story time. The Shortest Man and the King's Daughter. In the heart of Uganda, nestled between rolling hills and vast green fields, lay a small village known as Kijani. The people of Kijani were strong and proud, their warriors tall and their women graceful. Among them, however, was a man unlike any other, Cato, the shortest man the village had ever known. From the day he was born, Cato was different. Other boys grew tall and strong, but he remained small, barely reaching the waist of the average man. His size made him the subject of ridicule. "How can a man so small be of any use?" the villagers would whisper. "Who will ever marry him?" young women giggled behind his back. Even the elders, wise as they were, often sighed when they saw him. "The gods must have played a joke on him," they murmured. But Cato never let their words break his spirit. He walked with humility, spoke with kindness, and carried himself with quiet dignity. While other men fought for status and power, he simply worked hard, helping his neighbors, respecting his elders, and treating everyone with warmth. One fateful afternoon, Cato picked up his small clay pot and made his way to the village river. He balanced the pot carefully on his head as he walked, humming a gentle tune, unaware that this day would change his life forever. The river encounter. At the same time, unknown to Cato, Princess Amara, the king's only daughter, was bathing in the river, surrounded by her maids. The princess was known for her beauty, but even more so for her sharp mind and kind heart. Unlike the other women of the village, Amara was not impressed by height, wealth, or warrior status. She longed for someone different, someone who saw the world as she did. As she bathed, she suddenly heard footsteps approaching. The maids gasped, quickly moving to shield the princess, but Amara peeked through the reeds and saw Cato. She had seen him before in the village, always quiet, always kind. But now, standing at the river's edge with the sun glistening on his dark skin, she saw him differently. He was not weak. He was not pitiful. He was simply himself, unbothered by the world's judgment. Before she could stop herself, her heart fluttered. Cato, realizing he was not alone, immediately bowed his head in respect. "Forgive me, princess," he said humbly. "I did not mean to intrude." Amara studied him for a moment and then smiled. "You are different from the others," she said. "Tell me, what makes you so kind despite the way people treat you?" Cato hesitated, then answered, "My height is given to me by the gods, but my heart is mine to shape. I choose to be kind." At that moment, Amara knew. She had found the man she wished to marry. With steady eyes, Amara answered, "Cato, the humble man from the village." Gasps filled the royal hall. The elders shook their heads in disbelief. The shortest man in the village? How can he be worthy of a princess? Even the king frowned. "Are you certain, Amara? He is no warrior, no nobleman." But Amara stood firm. "I do not seek a man of war or one of riches. I seek a man of heart. Cato may be small in size, but his heart is greater than any man I have ever met." The king, though hesitant, saw the determination in his daughter's eyes. He sighed and said, "If this is truly your choice, then so be it. A wedding like no other. Word spread quickly through the village. Some laughed, others shook their heads. The king's daughter, marrying Cato? But when the day of the wedding arrived, the laughter died. The entire village gathered at the palace. Cato, dressed in fine robes, walked through the grand hall, his head held high. For the first time, people looked at him not with pity, but with admiration. He had not changed, but their eyes had. The princess, dressed in shimmering gold, took his hand and smiled. As they stood before the king, the villagers saw what Amara had seen all along. Cato was not small. He was a giant in spirit. And from that day forward, no one in the village ever dared to look down on him again. The legacy of Cato. In the years that followed, Cato and Amara ruled side by side with wisdom and kindness. They built schools for the children, ensured food for the poor, and taught the village that greatness is not measured in height, strength, or wealth. And so, the shortest man in the village became its greatest leader, proving that the true measure of a man is not in how tall he stands, but in how big his heart is. Thanks for watching African Folks by Joyval. Your support is amazing by subscribing, like, comment and share. God bless you as you contribute to our growth.